Tonight, in the presentation of the tentative budget that Barbara will roll out to us here in just a minute, here's an opportunity for us to share that with the board and with the community. That will, as it has been in the past, will be on our website for viewing by anyone in its complete detail. And later on this evening, we'll be adopting a resolution establishing a public hearing for the preliminary budget, and essentially the tentative budget will become the preliminary budget. So I'd like to ask Barbara to come to the podium, and she's got a PowerPoint presentation. And with that, Barbara, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Supervisor LaFountain. I'm here this evening, as Supervisor LaFountain said, to present the tentative budget for fiscal year 2016. In addition to it being available on the website, documents are also available in the town clerk's and the library tomorrow. Over the past few months, the supervisor and my predecessor, Bob Beeden, and I have worked to develop, with the town's department heads, to develop a very fiscally sound tentative budget that provides the quality services and programs that the Penfield residents, excuse me, to the Penfield residents. Increases in health care premiums, along with reductions in state and county revenues, created challenges to preparing this budget. Though we're able to reduce appropriations to the general governmental funds, which would be general, highway, and library, the anticipated non-tax revenues were also adjusted downward. However, the proposed tax rate for 2016 will still be among the lowest of the 19 towns in Monroe County. In 2016, the Penfield town taxes will equate to, again, approximately 8% of the total property taxes that residents pay. Though we control the smallest piece of the tax bill, we are the entity that touches the residents and provides the quality of life that they expect here in Penfield. The tentative budget for fiscal year 2016 is approximately $18.9 million. This is an increase from the adopted budget of 2015 by just over $100,000. This is inclusive of all the special districts as well. As in previous years, the town faces double-digit increases on health care premiums, as well as an additional 20% contribution for the New York State retirement. As the town is primarily a provider of services to the residents, as you'll see, the majority of the budget dollar is appropriated for employee payroll and benefits. However, it is important to note that through attrition and improved processes, this portion has decreased from nearly 65% just a few short years ago. The department which receives the largest portion of the budget, at just over $7 million, is the Department of Public Works. This equates to 38% of the total proposed budget of 2016. This is to maintain 287 town lane miles, in addition to 308 miles of storm and sanitary sewer, and also to provide winter maintenance for 153 miles of state and county roads, and also plow sidewalks for 44 miles. The DPW also is responsible for maintaining the parks and facilities as well. The Penfield Library is a popular place for all our residents, and the appropriations for 2016 equate to nearly 10% of the budget at $1.8 million. In 2014, circulation was over 530,000, and so far this year, we're nearly over 300,000 pieces in circulation, so we're estimated to exceed what we did in 2014. People who visited in 2014, over 217,000, and again, we're on pace in 2015 to beat that record. The Recreation Department is one of the busiest departments in the town, offering programs to residents of all ages. Accounting for just over 4% of the proposed budget, this department has offered already over 948 programs this year, and over 9,300 people have attended those programs. We're on pace to exceed 12,000 by year's end. In addition, this department also is responsible for coordinating all our special events, including the concerts in the amphitheater, as well as our spectacular 4th of July event. Over 21,000 people attend those special events. The capital and equipment outlay portion of the budget is at almost $1.3 million for the proposed budget of 2016. Of that, the largest portion goes towards heavy-duty and light-duty equipment. In the 2016 proposed budget, this includes a new 10-wheel dump truck as well as a new backhoe and new light-duty vehicles for the Parks Department and Sewer Department. 37% of the money allocated for equipment and capital outlay is for road improvements. In 2015, we're estimated to actually complete over 33 miles of capital road improvements. This slide depicts the taxable valuation for the town of Penfield. We've grown to over $3 billion in 2016, the 2015 tax roll. This is an increase of 1.8% over last year's taxable value. This demonstrates that Penfield continues to be a community that people want to call home. We had the most growth of all the communities in Monroe County, but as the town's motto of planned progress is, new builds are scrutinized to be sure we maintain a healthy balance of commercial and residential properties. The anticipated tax rate for fiscal year 2016 is slightly higher than that of 2015, though the total appropriations for the general governmental services is approximately $78,000 less than the adopted budget of 2015 due to loss in revenue supporting these services. The proposed rate is 5 cents higher for next year. This minor increase equates to a $9 average household increase at a house valued at $180,000. Though this is a proposed rate increase, bear in mind that this rate is 8.5% lower than the town tax rate adopted in 2009. And as I mentioned before, we are still among the lowest of the 19 towns in Monroe County. The supervisor and department heads worked closely to develop a budget that continues to provide the quality services for which Penfield is known in the most economical way possible. As I mentioned in the previous slide, the downturn in revenue. We do expect to have a decrease in the anticipated revenue for 2016, just over $440,000. It's a 5% decrease. Although we anticipate an increase in our sales tax share from Monroe County, other revenues received from the state and county are expected to decline. As revenues are the side of the budget that we have less control over, it is important that we control the appropriation side of the budget. And as I said earlier, the department heads and the supervisor carefully reviewed all budget lines while preparing this tentative budget. Of the major non-tax revenue sources, I've listed here the top 5. As you can see, sales tax is expected to be up, but the others are either declining or remaining flat for 2016. Moving on to special districts. Sanitary sewer operation and maintenance per unit for 2016 will be $41.37. That's actually a slight decrease from 2015 of 5 cents. However, the debt service portion per unit is $68.31, which is a slight increase. The net for the two is $1.99 per unit. For special drainage, it's proposed to remain flat at $3.83. A typical house is assessed at 10 units, therefore it would be $38.30. This townwide special lighting district is again remaining flat at approximately 6 cents per thousand, with a typical household being charged $10.42. For those in the intensified lighting district, the rate is actually decreasing $3.41 down to $24.55 from $27.96. Continuing with special districts, the townwide consolidated water district is a little less than, it's 0.0028 per thousand, which is about 50 cents per average homeowner. Also included in the water budget is the debt service for the Thomas Cove Water District, which is $1.45 per thousand, or approximately $261 per average homeowner. That is actually a decrease of $14 from the 2015 budget. Once again, in 2016, the town of Penfield will collect on behalf of 2 ambulance districts. All of the tax monies collected for the ambulance districts are forwarded directly to them and are not part of the town's operating budget. The tax rate is anticipated to remain flat for both districts at 2.2 cents for District 1, which is served by the Penfield Volunteer Ambulance, which is about $4.01 per average homeowner. For District 2, the northeast quadrant, again, the rate is remaining flat at 1 cent, approximately $2.39 per average homeowner. In closing, this slide represents a summary of the town's tentative budget for townwide operations applicable to the majority of residents. An average homeowner will pay approximately $644 for all the townwide services and programs to be offered in 2016. And just a reminder that the documents as well as this presentation are available at penfield.org.
Great. Thank you, Barbara. This is, again, for the record, this is a tentative budget that has been prepared and is now presented officially to the town board and to the community of Penfield. So let's talk a little bit about next steps. Next steps are that this is filed with the town clerk. It's available, as Barbara has indicated, on the website at penfield.org. You can take a look at that in detail, line item by line item. If you have any specific questions about the budget, you can feel free to contact the Comptroller's office, and she'll be more than happy to address any questions that you may have. Essentially, for the next 5 weeks or thereabouts until October 7th, we will accept input, comments, feedback on the budget. During that time, this board will take into consideration all of those items. The board may, in fact, elect to make some changes to the budget. The budget cannot go up at this point. It cannot be increased, but the board has the ability to decrease that if they so choose. And I know this board, with the experience for the last 6 years, takes this duty very seriously as they take a look at all aspects of the budget to make sure that they do what's right for the homeowners within the community of Penfield. We'll have the public hearing on October 7th. And from October 7th, again, until about the middle part of October, after that public hearing, still an opportunity to provide any comments, input, or feedback in addition to what the board gets at the public hearing. And then the board will look to adopt the 2016 budget at its meeting on October 21st. And then it will be then officially filed with the County of Monroe. So, again, feel free to take a look at the budget. Any questions, you may contact my office or the Comptroller's office, and we'll make sure that we get any and all information fed back on those particular questions. I'd like to thank Barbara for the work that she has done. Certainly, I'd be remiss if I didn't also give a tip of the hat to Bob Beeden, who started the process in 2016 for the budget. I'd also like to recognize all of our department heads for the work that they have gone through, again, recognizing that we continue to be faced with some loss of revenues that continue to add. Those are dollars that we fight for each and every year because that helps with our budget process. We're starting to see that decline. And while we're able to look to manage other aspects of the budget, the revenues is something that we really have to keep our eye on very closely. And then, again, this board will continue to ask, I'm sure, the Comptroller's office and my office to do additional reviews and provide additional information on all aspects of the budget to again, make sure that we're doing everything we can for the residents of Penfield. So with that, board, we present officially the tentative budget to yourself and to the town residents of Penfield, and we look forward to the next 6 or 8 weeks as we work through tentative to preliminary to final budget for 2016.